2 sessions away from bringing this summit to a close. So having said that, our second last panel discussion for the day on the topic, Leading the Change, Women at the Forefront of India's Food Revolution. From kitchens to boardrooms, women are redefining the contours of India's food ecosystem as entrepreneurs, chefs, investors, and change makers. This panel celebrates their leadership, explores the unique challenges they face, and highlights how women are driving innovation, inclusivity, and impact across the food value chain. I'd like to introduce our panelists to you. Please give them a big round of applause. We have with us this evening Garima Chhabra, Collaborative Innovation Lead, Bühler Group. Please give her a big round of applause as she comes forward. Vasudha Bhogaraju, co-founder Bhogaraju's, and moderating this discussion is Shalini Shankar, National Head and Senior Vice President, Laqshya Media Group. Please give them a big round of applause, and Shalini, over to you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I can see that as we are at the fag end of the day, and you guys have been sitting here from morning. First of all, a big round of applause for everyone who is out here. Thank you so much. I know this panel is unique in the way because we are talking about women who are leading innovation, and we need more and more support. As always, women will always, though we are the rock stars, but we need support. So can you move in front, because we don't like this. If somebody can move in front from the back, it will help us talk, feel more confident, and feel that people are being involved, because a lot of people have gone for the cup of tea or coffee or whatever it is. So anyway, we're starting this discussion. A lot of you would have had your nuggets of nourishment and great food from morning, listening to the best of the foodpreneurs, leaders in food innovation. And we have today 2 women leaders who have created their name in this industry. From the women traditionally known to be the best of the chefs, cooking for us and the families, these are the women who are getting more scientific in the approach, food, creating new waves on the food in terms of innovation, in the way the food is being made, the traditions being carried. And so we have 2 diverse people out here. So I will ask them to introduce themselves and also let us know what got them to take food as a profession and a business.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm really excited to talk about the food innovation in the food industry and the food space. Firstly, to introduce myself, I am a biotechnologist by education, and currently I am leading collaborative innovation for Bühler Group. What it essentially means is we try to build partnership strategies in the innovation space outside Bühler. We work with the academicians, researchers, startups who are building new innovations these days and are very agile in nature. We try to bring them back to the industry and business to create impact in the food processing industry. Now, talking about what brought me to the food industry, I want to highlight that prior to joining Bühler 1.5 years back, I was a consultant for about 6 years in the FMCG industry, helping brands build their R&D strategies. And thereupon, I think early in my career in 2018, I got a project to work upon in the innovation space, helping a pesto sauce brand, Italian brand, to replace egg white in their formulation. And with that project, I came so close to the innovations that are happening in the food industry. There is so much science behind every product that we consume these days. Not just sauces or condiments, but everything that we have from pasta, from noodles, and so on and so forth. I can keep talking on and on about it. And being a science person by heart, I was so intrigued by the space that I wanted to continue. Within FMCG, food and nutrition space became my priority, and that's how I started building towards it. And now I am part of the industry in the innovation space. Very excited to talk about it further.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Vasudha Bhogaraju, and I'm the co-founder of brand Bhogarajus. We are into a legacy business. I'm the 2nd generation. We manufacture staples, preservative-free staples. That's pickles, chutney poddies, things that people are forgetting about today, maybe after all the Thai curries and the sushis have made way into the plate. But the idea is to see how we can bring tradition back onto the plate. The idea is to see how we can present traditional food in a better manner to the young generation, where, you know, people would love to taste and eat what goes way back into the culture of what our grandmothers made for us. So that's the endeavor with which I'm carrying my mother's legacy forward. We are basically from Andhra, and we are foodies, and we just love to cook and feed people. So it came very naturally to me that, you know, I'd like to be in the food space. And what's very exciting and interesting is to see how the industry is changing today, how the new generation wants to try new stuff, but, you know, they still somewhere at least twice or thrice a week come back to traditional food. And, you know, what can we do to make it exciting for them to continue you know, consuming what's meant for us in that sense, sounded very exciting for me. So decided that from the boring finance career that I was leading with the banks and other places, I thought I should dive into food where my heart belongs and see what I can do.
That's great. Thank you so much. So we have two diverse panelists, and so we'll have a viewpoint from both the ends. So back to you, Garima. Is that, you know, at our times, I'm a big foodie too, a Punjabi, a foodie. And for us, the food innovation was what was being cooked by our mother, by our aunts, by our you know, grandmothers, how the different recipes used to be there. But now food innovation has become a big vibe, a big name, big word. What has changed, and what does it actually means to you in terms of food innovation? How is it affecting the food ecosystem? Over to you.
That's a very interesting question, Shalini. I would like to start with how I see food innovation as. It's about bringing or solving the systematic challenges these days. And those systematic challenges include food security at the foremost level. The previous panel also talked about the growing population, right? And then along with it, there is food safety. How would we ensure that the food that is coming on our plate from various sources is safe and it's pure, right? At the same time, we also look into climate impact. There is a lot that is leading to I would say negative impact on our climate, on water usability, on energy consumption, and so on and so forth. So food innovation is about resolving these challenges in the ecosystem. And it's very humbling to see that the entrepreneurs these days are targeting these challenges with their tech innovations, with as simple as changing their product formats, which utilize less water when being produced or manufactured, or as simple as using the biodegradable packaging. There is a very recent example from Swiggy. Swiggy partnered with a brand called Zero Circle to, on an International Burgers Day, to provide their burgers in a packaging which was biodegradable and had no flexible plastics on it, even for labeling. So that's very humbling to see how people are innovating and coming together, collaborating to bring those innovations to life and to the plates of the consumers. Yeah.
So Garima, you know, taking a cue from there, I remember my mom used to always say that we are more healthier because our food was healthier. You know, the nutrients, the way it was grown was healthier. Now with so much of innovation happening, are we going to be looking at healthier food being grown and consumed? Because there is a lot of climatic weather impact on food, and we can see that young generation are coming and are falling sick. You know, they're not having that kind of immunity system. So what do you look in the food innovation towards that? There is some, you know, like I've heard a lot of organic food is being, but still it's not in mass. So how do you see that from the food innovation angle?
So food industry is collectively looking at that problem, that whatever we get on our plates is nutritionally dense. And the younger generation who is you know, more adaptive towards new taste profiles, new product formats, they also are more aware about environment, about whatever the practices they have been seeing at their homes, right? So industry today is moving towards the convergence of both of these things. One is a traditional culture, and another is modern product formats or modern to facilitate our lifestyle, the modern lifestyle. So that brings to a point of convenience for food brands. We look forward, as a consumer, I look forward to food which is more convenient for me to get. And at the same time, I would take care of that this is nutritionally rich. And that's why we as technology players, although we are a little behind the curtains when it comes to the innovations, we are also trying to make sure that we, in our technology, we try out efficient methods or scalable methods to produce those nutritionally dense products. For example, the fortified pasta noodles, which are protein rich. So you would see a lot of brands making claims of protein pasta or protein biscuits or protein rich snacks, extruded millet snacks, right? So these are the innovations that are bringing us a little more closer to our traditional culture and heritage, at the same time providing that convenience. Yeah.
Great, thanks. Vasudha, to you, you have taken the recipes and the food staples that are being made traditionally at your home to the next level. So how has it changed with the changing persona of consumers? You have people who are in a hurry, you know, they don't have time to actually sit down and have a proper meal, but what you have is those like chutneys and pickles who add and enhance the taste of the Indian traditional meal. So what changes have you brought into your production lines, are the way you're producing the distributing the product, or reaching out to your TG to connect with the current consumer and their behavior, changing behavior?
Right. So one is, like Garima mentioned, we're looking at how we can make your meal more convenient. So one, in terms of what kind of instant mixes that can help you. And the other thing is, see, pickle as such is, if you look at it, is treated like just a small portion of your entire thali. But way back, if you have to go into the science of pickling, you know, India is rich with all your masalas and all of that, right? Like, we were a land of masalas. And way back, our grandmothers pickled these fruits and vegetables to ensure that, you know, in the process of pickling it, there's a fermentation process which helps with your gut health, right? So that is the core reason why pickle is consumed along with your curd, which again has lactobacilli, which is again good for your gut health. But somewhere in the whole process of, you know, I would say large corporates playing a role with the food industry, this science is lost. And that's exactly what we have to bring back. I mean, people need to understand the importance of what they have on their plate and how that's adding nutrition to your body, right? So one is, what convenience can we bring in order to ensure that you just have one carb and you're able to make this a meal in itself, instead of, you know, looking at ordering in not so native dishes, or you know, making something else that could be tough for you. So how do you whip up a meal quickly with these products is something that we look at. And the other thing is also, how do you appeal to the younger generation? So we have a range of cookies which are totally millet-based, jaggery-based, and butter-based. No margarine, no preservatives. So that's something that we stand by. And this, I have seen, bite-sized, pop-sized cookies is what is very interesting for the new generation also. You know, like when I have a mother who comes in with her kid, he's more interested in that. But if you were to tell him you eat a bajre ki roti, he's not going to eat it. Or you tell him you eat that ragi ball, he's not going to eat it because he doesn't like it, right? So it's all about, one is we keep convenience in mind, and the second thing is, how can you, you know, retain those traditional nutritional values and present it differently? So it's more, I mean, we focus more in terms of how we can present the same product differently to different groups of consumers, especially the younger generation, so that, you know, they are intact with with the traditional values of food, and also cultivate the habit of eating, home-based food.
You know, you said interesting things about millet cookies being presented. Like many other women, I'm constantly dieting, trying to look for healthy alternatives in terms of less oil, less sugar, less, fat, everything. So, but one of my dietitians said it's all fat, everything has fat. So if you have those zero oil snacks that you get into Namdhari and all, no, don't, nothing's going to work for you. So is it something that you people, you first of all, do you agree that there is something that always there is fat, and all these zero fat is also fat? And when you are saying about millet cookies and all, how much is along with ingredients, you're looking at other additions in terms of oil and ghee to make it a healthier alternative, even in the pickles? Is the oil's quantity, because certain kind of amount of oil is required to get the pickle to reach the mature stage. So what is it that you're doing for the healthier alternatives?
So one is, you're absolutely right. There's nothing like no-fat food at all, because these micronutrients are present in everything that we eat today. And also what's important is, the preparation, the methodology. Like while we fry our snacks, it's single-use oil. We don't reuse the same oil multiple times, so therefore your trans fat, saturated fat is lower. But the most important thing is how educated is our consumer also about it, right? Like, I mean, traditional ghee, what we use, butter, clarified ghee, is so healthy that for some reason people have completely forgotten about it, right? And when we look at it from a dieting point of view, we are only talking about, we're looking at it in together. Like, we're like, oh, fat is bad, so therefore oil is bad, so therefore ghee is also bad. But it's not. The point is, how are we able to educate our customers also, about this? And what's important, see, while in pickling, I'm asked this question most times, that, if you have high blood pressure, you're not supposed to eat pickles, and, you're
somebody in food business mentioned to me
Right.
a day before, the pickles are going to die. But so here we are asking you do you think the pickles are, like pickles, you're in the business of growing pickles, so pickling is a science, right?
Right, exactly. So that's the whole point. It's like anything that you eat in moderation is going to keep you healthy, right? And considering the fact that we still follow the same old process of fermentation in our pickles is only enhancing your gut health. It's for the consumer also to understand, when they look at a label, also understand what is it that they're consuming. Just to put a blanket on it and say all fats are bad, or to say all oils are bad, is incorrect, right? So my biggest challenge also as an entrepreneur is, how do I get people to understand this? So whenever we are able to talk to a consumer directly, we are able to explain this to the consumer, and we see that those consumers come back to us for more, because they've felt the difference between what they get off the shelf and what is traditionally made, right? So the biggest challenge for us is to get this message across to as many people as possible, and I think slowly as an industry we have to make that change. It cannot happen with just one company or two. Like the whole industry moving towards bringing back healthier food. And how are these myths and fads, coming into the play, is all because of how much of marketing budget does somebody have to drive this into the consumer's head, right? I mean, that's where it all stems from, if you ask me. So it's about how are we able to, as much as possible educate the customer and give them right facts.
Great. Garima, going from the fats thing, there's so much of different types of diets which are nowadays. Earlier there used to be veg and non-veg, and in the middle, vegetarians. Now you have vegan, and gluten-free diets and keto and so many diets. So how does food innovation actually work? I'm sure you are understanding the diets, you're following which one is in the market globally also. So there is a lot of innovation required in what people want to have, because they follow different kinds of diets. So how does food innovation work towards those diets, those different diets which are right there? Are you guys fueling it? Are you guys, saying, no, it's a fad, it'll go away? Or what is it that you people are doing in innovation bit?
So I'll start with that. We are the brand I mean, we are the technology player who acts behind the curtains again. And these trends, they influence what our customers need for the likes of, let's say, the pasta manufacturers or bakery manufacturers or chocolate manufacturers, what they need, right? And they are the core people in between who drive their business based on these trends like keto diet and plant-based diet and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of science behind how these trends are coming into play. One is, of course, there is a rat race behind certain myths that ghee is not good or fat is not good for our health. But then again, there is a lot which is driven by the impact, the environmental impact, the climate impact that these products are bringing, right? So what we do as food innovators, right, as innovators in the tech space for food manufacturing, we work towards the science, what science says, right? And according to, I mean, Mr. Shashidhar in the previous panel, he has talked very nicely about how the climate is being impacted and there is so much less land to provide enough food for the growing population in the coming few years, maybe in 1.5 or 2 decades, right? So with those trends where there is so much CO2 emissions being CO2 being emitted in the environment through animal farming, there is a need for plant-based products. But at the same time, there is not enough land to cultivate those amount of proteins through plants. For example, for pulses or peas or sources like millets and so on and so forth. So these are the scientific problems or systematic problems, I would say, that are leading to trends like cultured food or fermented ingredients that are supposed to be used in our products maybe 2 decades later. We are not familiar with these products. That's why we are hesitant on trying these products. But once that familiarity will be gained in the future, then it will be easier for us to look at our plates and say that, okay, this is not animal meat, this is plant-based meat. So there is a very interesting story. Very recently, there was a get-together with the friends, and half of them were non-vegetarians and half of them were vegetarians. I, being a flexitarian, already being
There's something called a flexitarian.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm exploring the plant-based products very avidly. And I'm conflicted. Being a Punjabi, I'm very much conflicted on giving up on non-vegetarian food, given that I recently started consuming it like 5 years back. So I brought plant-based nuggets, and I said that, okay, for snacks, we are going to have plant-based chicken. And both the groups were confused. Is it chicken or is it plant-based? Is it vegetarian or is it non-vegetarian? And I had to explain them the whole science of it. That was a very interesting
Please,
conversation.
can you give us some science of it? Because, I mean, I am confused, What is it? Some 1-2 lines of science about it?
Sure. So for plant-based products, what we essentially do is we isolate proteins from plant sources like pulses, lentils, moong, chana, chickpea. These are very rich in protein. And we have known this from childhood, I guess. Our grandparents used to say that with ghee and with chapati, you should definitely have some dal in once a day at least, because it gives you the protein source with starch and fats, right? So those proteins, when isolated, they are put together in different formats to bring about products like nuggets or burger patties, which is similar to the texture and flavor of chicken or red meat or now seafood as well. So that's very interesting, actually. You should try. A lot of restaurants here in Bangalore, they offer on their plate impossible meat burger, and then they have a claim on the sides that this is vegan. That confuses us, of course, but more aware we get as consumers, it will be easier for us to adapt to those new innovations.
Interesting bit, thank you. Vasudha, over to you. You are a entrepreneur in food business. And, I totally understand being a woman that how much we face challenges in every field. Even if you're professional, you are everywhere, you have spoken challenges. But as a entrepreneur in this business, what are the challenges that you face? And what additional support do you think are additionally something different can be done by government, by agencies like TIE and organizations which are into entrepreneurship?
Sure. Entrepreneurship itself is a very challenging journey. So male or female, we're all a part of it. But especially for us, what happens is while the government has a lot of schemes of late for women entrepreneurs, and it's very heartening to see that there's a lot of effort that's going in from organizations, including TIE, about what they can do to support women entrepreneurship. I think the challenge that we face is when it comes to mindsets of working with government agencies. Because ultimately you have our Honorable Prime Minister talking about something and the Finance Minister giving out a scheme, but then when you walk into a bank to avail your schemes, or you walk into any other NBFC to avail your schemes, there is a lot of lack of education at that level where they still wonder, 1 koti na, you need 1 crore. And, it's like, but then just look at a guy going up and saying, I want 10 crores, and, it's granted to him because they just innately feel that the ability of doing business is more a man thing than a woman thing. But having said that, luckily there has been a lot of change. It's been, my journey is about, I'm 6 years into this journey, and there's a lot of change now. At least it's more accepted. But what's very important is I think we're still in that very tip of the iceberg kind of a scenario. More women coming into the front, more women coming and leading the front will obviously, also build that belief in the ecosystem. And that's what I look forward to actually.
So what different can government or organizations like TIE can do to, of course you're waiting and watching, but there's any suggestions that you would like to give us?
Yeah, right. So one is in terms of making things more available in terms of, more than just conducting sessions, I would say it's more about having access to, it could be funds, or it could be access to technology, it could be access to others in the ecosystem as well. Because somewhere, while I also talk to my other women entrepreneur friends, what happens is access to these kind of things is really a challenge, until and unless you really know. And but then, yeah, how do you actually go out and reach out to a lot more people is something that we are also trying to figure out. And it's nice that organizations like TIE are actually making an effort to do this. But access to funds, access to technology, these are the two things that we really find it a problem when we start.
So I hope the TIE people are noting it, right?
Yes.
We need to do these two things. Yeah, thank you. Garima, back to you. Your company is a technology-led company, right? And so I would like to know how do you use the technologies like IoT, data analytics, and the latest buzz AI when you're working on food innovation behind the curtain?
Yes, so technologies like AI, okay, so these are no more niche, or these are no more novel, I would say, which was the case 10 years back when I was studying. And if my friends used to say that, okay, I want to grow into a AI or data analytics person, I used to wonder what will they do really, okay. Bühler, as an innovation technology player, we have 5 focus areas to build our innovation pipeline. And one of them is digitization and AI integration into food processing. So what it essentially means is we are actively and in the real time building digital tools and AI tools to help our customers automate their entire processing value chain. Not just monitoring one equipment or two, but automating their entire manufacturing plant from sourcing to cleaning to then grinding and then doing the secondary production for a confectionery or a chocolate or a biscuit or a pasta or a noodle, right? So a lot of our products, a lot of our machines that we offer to our customers are IoT enabled. So that enables our customers to sit back in a room and in the real time monitor the efficiency of the machine, how much energy it is consuming, how much water it is consuming, how much waste it is generating, and so on and so forth. And with that precision, when the real monitoring happens and the data is captured with that precision, it helps the brands to come back to us and say, okay, this process is not really efficient for me, it is consuming too much energy, and then we work upon the process design again. We try to formulate better strategies to put together better technologies which are more efficient for our customers and create impact as well. Yeah.
Just a second. I think there's another panel discussion happening at the last table out there. Can I have the attention of those ladies? There's a women panel out here, and we would need your support. Yeah? Thank you so much. Garima, continue.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of our solutions like optical sorters, they are AI driven and they ensure food security and food safety for grains that come out of the factories. They make sure that there is no contamination in the food product that is coming out. And then there are coffee roasters that Bühler offers at industrial scale, which are also AI driven to optimize the roasting levels of the coffee. I'm not a technical person on that front. I'll talk the least about it. But talking about these technologies, so in the real time, Bühler is advancing its technology with edge computing and advanced sensors, and that really helps. I've seen our customers, requesting something for one factory and then integrating into all of their factories, not just in India, but across the globe to make it more centralized and more efficient. Yeah.
Thank you. Vasudha, over to you. What challenges you face in the supply chain and distributorship, and is the D2C to consumers is taking a big shape in your business? I just wanted to understand that.
Right. So one is towards sourcing of raw material, like most of it, when you talk about the organic food these days, the entire supply chain has to become organic. So when you're looking at sourcing, that's, we do face challenges in terms of the quality of the grain and has a lot to do with the quality of the soil itself. So, while that is changing nowadays, but, how do you access these things to ensure that what goes into your product is, really coming out healthy? And the second thing is, when it comes to D2C, see, most of my business, the largest channel for us is, one is B2B and the second is D2C, because we are looking at, how we can, we have customer touch points where, like I said, we're looking at how we can educate these customers about, what's the right kind of food and, how you have to cook it, how you have to eat it. And so at scale, how do you do this larger? While there is technology, but then, one is how do you access that and how do you, how can that be affordable for you? Like one is you can access it, but also affordability plays a big role. So things like putting this message across to consumers, sampling and ensuring that, people are able to try before they, they buy in bulk or buy more, is something that, we work on.
Great. So here we have a traditional food player, and there you are working on protein-based pasta. So how ready is Indian consumers to innovative food like plant-based meat and lab-grown food? How is the Indian market? Is it maturing, or is it too early a stage to comment?
I would say we are not there yet. but we are moving at a pace which is very suitable for Indian consumers and Indian economy for that matter. With products that are being produced in India, plant-based products and fermented products, what I understand is those are mostly being produced for foreign markets. So that says a lot about how we are responding to it in the market. We are still not aware about these products, the benefits of these products. Or maybe we are aware, but we are not very sure about it.
Are they better than the natural product? Like, I think India is a food-rich country in terms of we have, so much of land and grain. So what do you think is the lab-grown product you're saying is better than the naturally grown product?
That's a controversial question. A lot of policy leaders would not like me to answer it either in favor or against.
Okay.
But a simple thought that I would share on that note would be that nothing is better or worse in the scenarios that we live in. We live in a VUCA world, which is as volatile as it can be. Right? And technology is evolving. The landscape is changing every 5 years. Not just food industry, but beyond as well. And most of us sitting here have seen that evolution from no mobile phone eras to connectivity at the touch of our hands. In these scenarios, I wouldn't say anything is better or worse. For India, who has been culinary rich and the heritage has been food-oriented, where we, from the science of Ayurveda, if I talk about, I've been very much influenced by it early in my career days. And I still try to follow it as much as I can. There should be diversity on our plate, is what I believe. All the colors, there should be all the different colors on our plate. Now, the question comes is, where do we source it up from? Are we sourcing it up from the different colors from the fast foods like burgers and patties? Or are we sourcing it from dal, khichdi, sambar, vada, rasam, and so on and so forth? So I would end it there.
Yeah. So we are about to close. The last questions to both of you, one to you. Is it an edge to be a woman in a food innovation business? Does that give you an edge to your colleagues that you're a woman and you're into food innovation because you understand food better? Is it something you feel gives you an edge?
In a way, yes. Not just because I know how to cook or I'm more closer to the food ingredients in the kitchen and I understand it better, maybe from better than some of the men, not everyone. But I've been born and brought up in a family where men also cook. Okay. So I would not say that I have that edge, but as a woman, what edge I have is we are more open towards new ideas and we push boundaries every now and then. Naturally, we have that talent naturally because in life we are pushing boundaries at each milestone we achieve. Once we get married or with motherhood and once we are in the caregiving responsibilities and so on and so forth. So we challenge the status quo throughout our life and that makes us more empathetic leaders in the industry. And being closer in the kitchens with the food ingredients, it makes it a little more easier for us to lead the space. Yeah.
Great, thanks. So Vasudha, the question for you, the last one is that there are a lot of people, women, men also, who have great tradition of unique food recipes which go from generation to generation through word of mouth and through just being trained. So do you think, what is your learning that you left a corporate job and took your mother's food business to the next level? What is it that you would like to tell them that if they are in a part of such a family where there's food is a big thing and they have some recipes which are unique to them, what should they do? What is your advice to them on?
Yeah, they should bring it to the forefront. I mean, in fact, there is a particular biryani that we make at home, and this was my grandfather's recipe. And when he used to make it back then, he used to communicate with my grandmother and my aunt in Hindi so that the rest of them don't understand because we were from Andhra. And he never wanted that that secret ingredient of that recipe would go to anybody else, because then everybody will start making it, and then he's not spoken about in the village. So so I think men also have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, and yeah, I mean it'll be amazing to see what they can bring to the forefront, considering the fact that most of the food chains are run by men. I think they're already doing it, but then it's always nice to see what they have and what they can innovate there and bring up.
Great. Thank you so much. So yeah, we are open to anybody who would like to ask any questions to the panel. There we have. Thank you.
Hi, it was very interesting to somehow hear about the product. I mean, from morning I've been hearing about hotel entrepreneurs being on stage. So I had a very two basic question. The first one was FMCG holds a lot of companies like HUL, ITC. Since we are talking about innovation, say I've come up with a product which is really innovative, unique, new, and of course we don't have as much as funds that the big fours or the industries have. And eventually it gets popularized, say to scaling and everything. It's very easy for them to actually start doing such products with a lot of innovation, a lot of machineries, big scale, and they have the distribution lines all set and all sorted. So how do we kind of evolve in such situation? Like, what is your take on it? I would like to know your opinion, how to grow in such mindset. Like, I'm still starting off. I'm, like you said, from a corporate. I work at Goldman Sachs. So I have a lot of interest towards entrepreneurship and everything. So this was one of the questions that I had. Second is about product perfection. When I say something unique, when I say I'm creating something innovative, how do I come to a final, like this is the product, this is the, when I say clean label products, there goes a lot of ingredients. Even a slightest change of ingredients will make a lot of difference. And how do I come to a determination that this is the product that should be out in the market, like with a lot of research and everything? So that was my question.
Right, yeah, so so to answer your first question, we are all currently in that stage as growth stage entrepreneurs. One thing that I'd like to say is, as long as your product has some differentiation, it definitely will work. I'm at the risk of sounding philosophical. I would say the universe has space for everybody, so we don't have to feel threatened with the fact that there are the big players playing out there, because when I go with my bottle of pickle into any supermarket, it's placed against each of these people who have deep pockets, who are heavily funded, have all the but what's important is how you're able to connect to the consumer, how you're able to, it could be in terms of packaging, it could be in terms of your branding, all of it. And one thing that I have learned in my journey is it's not going to happen easy, it's not going to happen fast. So we have to accept that this is a time-consuming activity. Even those brands were built over years, and we will also go through that journey. We also need to understand, because at each stage of growth we face different challenges. So, how you tackle each one of them and still get there is it becomes a day-to-day activity once you become an entrepreneur. I mean, it's a way of life, so you get used to it. Second, in terms of product perfection, what I would say is, your definition of perfection is not going to really match somebody else's definition of perfection. So what can you do for the palate in general is something that we have to focus upon, because what we're looking at as a business is also catering to different, to a wide range of customers, to a wide range of people with different tastes, especially when it comes to food, different textures, different colors, all of this plays. I mean, you first eat with your eyes and then you taste it, right? So all of that matters. So So what we do at least is when we develop a particular product, the first thing that we do is to give it to the set of customers that we already have. To understand from them, to get that feedback, and then slowly you have to refine it. So at what stage? Maximum acceptance stage is where the product comes out. If you're only aiming perfection, you may not be able to get your product out at all. So yeah, that's my take.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, my question is to Vasudha ma'am. So basically, I am into sauces. My company imports sauces from Canada and Japan. We want to start manufacturing our own sauces back here. My grandmother's recipe, my sister's recipe. The difficulty we are facing is the shelf life. When we don't use any preservatives or additives and stuff, dealing with the shelf life is hard. Let's say 6 months, like your pickles are 6 months. For me to be based out of a 2-tier city, sending it to B2B clients like Nature's Basket, the listing fee is 10,000 per SKU per branch. How do we compete with like biggies? And people don't even want to entertain the product if it is like a shorter shelf life. Like 6 months, you are a new brand, nobody really gives you a shot. Same is with the bankers. When you go to them, they want 3 years of IT returns, knowing it's a startup, plus relevant experience in the industry. I'm a civil engineer by profession.
Yeah, it is very crazy, bro, very crazy.
First accepted, it's crazy.
It is very crazy, and but first of all, congratulations that you're trying to do it, because not everybody still faces all of that. So same issues that you mentioned, I'm still going through the same journey. When it comes to shelf life, there are multiple things that you can do. Like I said, as far as our pickles are concerned, fermentation is the most important thing. So therefore, that automatically takes care of shelf life. I don't need to necessarily add any artificial preservatives to preserve the product. And also one more interesting thing that's happening in the market is that customers are also more aware. Thanks to the pandemic, people have become more aware of what is it that they're consuming. They've started reading the back of the pack. They've started understanding what's going into their system. So when you tell a customer that, this is a shorter shelf life because it's more fresh, there is acceptability. So that is, that's the light at the end of the tunnel for us entrepreneurs who are completely focused on natural food. When it comes to the supermarkets and other places, it's tough, but that's the way it is. So what I have done to beat that around is I have got into direct distribution where I'm taking my product into places where the customer exists. That is, it could be apartments, it could be malls, it could be outside of the malls, and see what best I can do to manage my cost and still be present to the customer. So like I just told her, this is a journey where it is going to take time. And for an entrepreneur, especially for a startup, every day is a challenge, and you have to keep proving yourself to somebody or the other every single day. There is going to be that banker sitting behind the desk getting a nice salary and asking you, but how will you do? Because that's his job, that's why he's there. But we have to do it. I mean, you have to figure a way out in terms of where else can you source from. And one, of course, is it's not very easily accessible, but even before anybody gives you their money, you have to prove yourself to them. So that's the hard reality of life. And you'll get there. I mean, you just have to be at it every single day, though.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, we have the last people asking a question. That bit interesting.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Suresh. I run an agency called Buzzing Brands. We are into branding, website, and digital marketing. The question to Vasudha ma'am, right? Vasudha, yeah. So you said just it's predominantly dominated by men, the industry that you're into. So what takes from men to take the lead in the segment, if not the lead to equally to contribute and also to get noted in the industry by the customers, by the industry folks? Reason why I'm saying, just come across a couple of brands that you have worked with, right from the logo to branding, that is packaging design, and now website and so on and so forth. They're looking for marketing. So challenge what they face is the way you said, come out of corporate world. These two individuals have worked with bigger corporates for 15 years plus, come out and started something new. One is in extract of mushrooms, other one is masala products, so on and so forth. So what takes for them to, I mean, I come across one more a gentlewoman here who has started something on those lines. So what takes women to take lead in the segment? So it's just, of course, they will have a passion, or they want to come out of the world, start their own, or something that they would like to collaborate or look for some investors, or multiple factors that need to fall in place to scale up and get noted in the industry. Thank you so
Keep it
much.
short and sweet before
Sure.
he throws us.
Done. So I think what is required is all of that you just mentioned. And what does it take? It's a lot of passion. I mean, you have to believe in what you do, and to do it every single day is something you really, really have to believe in it. Otherwise, you can't do it. But then I think that as a journey is an entrepreneur's journey, irrespective of whether it is a woman or a man. The only thing that is a little tougher for us women is because we have other responsibilities, social responsibilities, along with the journey that we get into in terms of entrepreneurship. But it's pure play passion. I think for anybody who has to do something and who has to achieve something, it has to be passion driven. It can't be anything else. And also in terms of, you answered your own question actually by saying that do you collaborate or do you, yeah, you have to collaborate. I mean, you can't really do everything on your own. You need to have, you need to meet people, you need to collaborate. I think that is another thing. Most women really shy away from meeting people. Inherently women, we are shy, right? Like, so to break that barrier and to come out is something that, needs a lot of mental courage, I would say, and that's exactly what we need to work on. Otherwise, the rest of it is same for all entrepreneurs, actually.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for giving your valuable insight. So there's a lot, the women are in the forefront of innovation in the food and every other field, and we, along men, women, every one of us are supporting each other, and we hope that we see a brighter tomorrow in all the fields. Thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Thanks a lot.
Please give them a big round of applause once again. I'd like to request Anantaram Varayur, chapter member Thai Bangalore, to please come forward, and charter member, I beg your pardon, to please come forward and present our panelists with a small token of appreciation. Request you to please give them a big round of applause once again. Three powerhouses in their own respective fields.